Welcome back. So as I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to make some gloves and walk you through that process. I'm cutting 3 layers for one hand at a time. I want the red layer to be the middle because I want a little peekaboo at the wrist, showing at the wrist. So this layer will be on the outside. Therefore, I'm facing the wrong sides together. And I do that for both sides. Just lay your hand on the material, spread out, and you want to leave at least 1/4 of an inch seam allowance for sewing. And just begin tracing. This is going to be difficult with this kind of material, but trace. In between your fingers. I should have did this on paper and made a pattern, but this is probably the quickest and the easiest way. And then trace the length of the material that you want it to be on your wrist. So I'm going to cut the white part shorter than the red part. So I've decided to show you on paper so you can see the actual outline. So this would serve as my temporary pattern. Remember, you want to trace at least 1/4 of an inch for seam allowance. Now this seems like a very big glove, but once I sew it, it would not be that big. Okay. You can use the same pattern for the right hand. Just turn it over and cut. Once you cut the pattern out, just turn it over and use it for the other hand. My glove pattern. Left. Right. Right. Left. Now let's get to cutting the pattern out of the material. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can cut both the patterns and the full length of the material, or you can cut the material in half and then cut out both patterns. I think I'm going to cut the material in half and do it that way. Now trace the left part The dark color doesn't really matter because it is not going to show after I sew the gloves together. It will be inside the seam allowance. Make sure you cut along there so you won't have webbed fingers. Make sure you cut inside there. Now, I will do my right one. Now I've cut the right hand out exactly how I want to fit over my hand, but I will only sew the top and the middle layer together. That will be one layer. Then I will sew this together with that and have an opening right here. See, I've turned the pretty side in and I turn the middle layer in. So the thumbs are facing each other. Then when I sew that together, I will reverse it to show the correct side. Then I will sew it together with that one. You see I pinned the sides together so it will be straight and even when I sew them. I'm using a zigzag between the 2 and 3, and the length is between the 2 and 3. So the edges will be sewn together. See how the zigzag stitch is catching both sides of the fabric together. If you want, you can go over it with a straight stitch to feel secure that it won't come open. But with this zigzag stitch, it should not come open. Now I have the first part of one glove sewn together. Let me show you how the zigzag looks. That's a zigzag. And I'm going to turn this on the right side and sew the other part together. And here's the finished product. You know, I decided not to make the red fabric the middle layer and make it the opposite layer. Make it the layer that you see when you turn your hands up, because I think that looks better. So comfy. I made the fingers a little bit too long, but I can always go back and sew the tops off if I want to. But they're so roomy and comfortable. And I made a little faux fur on the wrist to match the hat. Thanks for watching. Until next time.